We have heard already quite a lot this morning. We've heard the view from the regulator, we've heard the view from the investors, we've heard the view from the investment managers. Now let's have a little bit a view from the angle of a management company. So Marco Cipolla, he's a partner at Selectra Management Company, which is a Supermanco here in Luxembourg. So the first question to you would be kind of a general question. How do you see the landscape in sustainable finance for the moment, 2020, and most of all beyond that? Will the sustainability criteria become the new norm in our world? And potentially, do you still see this as an evolution, or maybe the COVID situation that hit us, could that eventually trigger a revolution?
Thanks, Germain, for the introduction and question. I always think that the crisis has not only the negative thing, the negative impact, but also a positive one. So let's see it from this angle. And the COVID-19 pandemic, which has severely impacted our economy, can also be seen as an additional opportunity for sustainable finance. And the financial sector, as is often the case, has a big role in recovering from the crisis and the impact of the pandemic. And with new investments, we have seen with the program from the EU Commission and the Green Deal, but not only. And therefore, the big investments in healthcare, in social programs, in environment should be even strengthened in this situation, and therefore profit from this unique opportunity that we have for implementing a real green economy. And in my opinion, the sustainability, it's permeating our entire society. It's impacting on the consumers, which are more and more conscious also of the environmental concern, on the entrepreneurs and companies, which need also to adapt their processes and policies to sustainability and implement therefore ESG solutions in their day-to-day business. The governments with their key role in providing also the stimulus for implementing the Green Deal, and finally it's ourselves, so the financial sector, and as a marketplace for putting together all the previous actors that I've mentioned, is called for implementing also these new standards and let them become the new normality going forward.
Okay, so if I got you right, it would not be the immediate revolution, but a very fast evolution.
I think so, and it's still out there.
Okay. Let's come back now to the management companies, because management companies in Luxembourg, they've played a key role, and they have even played a key role internationally to position Luxembourg in the international fund industry as one of the key centers. What role do you think that a management company can play, or should I rather say must play in the future to foster, to develop sustainability in the funds world?
If we look at the last 10 years of the fund industry, we really see the emerging role of the management companies as the key actor in the ecosystem. And 10 years ago, there were around 180 management companies in Luxembourg with less than 2,000 employees. Today's last figures talks about more than 500 players among UCITS, AIFM and Supermancos, and almost 6,000 employees. So more than 3 times in number of actors and 3 times in number of employees, and managing 4.6 trillion euro of assets or more, because sometimes we're not considered all the unregulated entities. So that's proof that management companies are really the key player in this ecosystem, oversighting the other service provider, having the front responsibility towards the investors. So in this changing environment towards sustainability, they're obliged to play a role in also show that it's not only a new trend to sell more products in the market, but also that in behind there's a real content in the interest of the final investors, which is always our final client, but also for the sustainability of the industry, economically also.
You gave us a couple of figures here in Luxembourg of the industry. Do you think that at present the ecosystem of which we speak, to which we refer quite often here, does it have already today all the differentiating elements that will make out of Luxembourg the hub for sustainable funds?
We're on good track, and also all the initiatives from the government, from the associations, also new associations only referring to sustainable finance, are doing a great job to position Luxembourg as it's often the case ahead in this field. But to really be the hub and remain on top position, there's a need of the efforts of all the players, and not only a few of them. Otherwise, if the thoughts of some players are only the margins, which on top these years are slightly going down, there might be some other countries overtaking this role. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Next question, and I think you mentioned already something in the very first answer to my first question. We spoke so much about regulation over the past years, the regulatory tsunami, as we used to call it. Well, we didn't know that there was a different kind of tsunami hitting us this year. Do you see all of that regulation, and more specifically all the regulation now in relation to sustainable finance, as a catalyst or actually a burden for future development?
I come back to the first question, and when I was mentioning about the crisis, actually the last big wave of regulation that we remember over the last decade was the consequence of a big financial crisis, but on the other side has also become the great opportunity for the development of the industry, because the numbers that I've just mentioned are also thanks to the huge regulation that has been implemented in the European market the last years. And therefore, similarly, also the new regulation for implementation of the sustainability products is only to be welcomed by the industry, because we can leverage on that to have a new level playing field for the management companies and for the actors of the financial industry, avoid certain greenwashing initiatives that are anyway out there, because someone is trying to profit out of these. And the two main regulations that was just mentioned in the previous intervention are, in my opinion, therefore to be welcome. On one side, the taxonomy, because anyway we have a clear need also at our level, as Mr. Marx was saying this morning, of education and clear rules for everyone, so that we can provide our customers with a common understanding and proper language of what is green, what is sustainable, and then also the protection, as I was saying, from greenwashing effects, and also as a basis for what will be the next actions by the European Commission and by the Parliament in defining new standards, new labels, new prudential risk measures for the future. In the other side, there's the disclosure regulation, and in this the last figures this year's survey from Price said that the disclosure regulation, together with the data collection, is at the top priority of management companies in respect of sustainable finance. And I think that even if a big challenge, the sooner we get there, and again, Mr. Marx this morning was saying, don't complain about the deadline, but stick to that because it's anyway in our interest to be ready. Then, if it will be postponed, it means that we will be already ready for our customers and for our reporting.
Okay, so rather a positive outlook, and following up on what you said, the obvious question that I was going to ask you now, being a partner of Selectra Management Company, are you in a pole position to be in line with what everything is going to be required in the future? So this is your moment to shine and to
Actually, we're still working on that. We're not ready today.
That's an honest answer.
Yeah, sure. But we have a great team which is working on this, and on top of that, we're also working with our other service provider to be ready in time. On the other side, our engagement in sustainability, as is shown also by these already 2 years in a row main topic of our forum. It starts back, I think, in 2005, and it's since ever part of our DNA, considering that at the group level we're also a benefit corporation certified. And so we started back some time ago with both impact investing solution in alternative funds, as well as SRI liquid funds, which are also labeled by Lux Flag, and so it's part of our daily business to talk about this new language, and working hard for the next future. And on the other side, of course, it's even something coming from our customer to adapt ourselves to the upcoming regulation, the new standard, because there as well are pushed by the final investor, the big institutional investors, in providing reporting, ESG reporting, and a better quality in terms of data, including sustainability data, because are part of their criteria in selecting the assets in their portfolios.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for this very honest answer. And I think in a year's time, it will be interesting to have exactly the same debate again to see what the first results are going to be. Thank you very much, Marco and Cipolla.
Thanks, Germain.
For this
and let's hope that the numbers will be even double the ones we have seen, especially for sustainable finance.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.